Hello guys and welcome back. Today I'm going over another piece of Borderlands lore hinted at in the pre-sequel, which was the Corporate Wars. But before I get into that, let me thank today's artist, Muscoda Arts, over on DeviantArt. He's done a ton of stuff for me in the past and will continue to do stuff in the future, so I'll link down to his page in the description below, so if you want to check that out and show some support. So with that, let's get right into it. So if you remember one of my past videos, the Board of Hyperion, we talked about the founders of Hyperion and hinted at the corporations and their rise of power. Or if you didn't see that, but just remember the posters in Borderlands The Pre-Sequel of the founders of Hyperion, we learn about a war between all the different weapon manufacturers in-game. Under Alma Heron, the bio tells us that she was a sniper in the Corporate Wars and was also the quote mercenary who couldn't miss after the downfall of the central government. Then this idea of corporate wars was confirmed again in Maxim Turner's bio, where he says that he was quote one of the initial proponents of the last corporate war. Turner profited greatly from the fall of the central government. So in both of these, we hear about the corporate wars and the fall of the central government. So what does this mean? So although it states that the central government falls, we don't know if this was the central government for just one galaxy, or the central government of everything. In Borderlands 2, Hyperion ads also mention that they are the most accurate guns in the quote 6 galaxies. So with that, it's another piece of lore and world building. It's also mentioned a lot of places that there are 6 basically discovered galaxies in the world. So to have one central government ruling all of them could make sense, but maybe it's just for one galaxy and it's all kind of separated and built off each other. I also believe though that the corporate wars toppled the government of just one galaxy and there are still others in charge. This idea is also supported by Gage the Necromancer's echologs, and she was a playable DLC character in Borderlands 2. So in her echologs, it talks about Gage and her arch nemesis kind of Marcy, who stole Gage's idea for Death Trap for the science fair, and then Marcy created the crime buster bot. And then also Gage was mad, as we learn later, because Marcy then quote, she's giving it, referring to Marcy giving it, to the galaxy's most corrupt police force. And it doesn't really make sense. We've seen Crimson Lance and private military from corporations, but we haven't seen a corporation that actually had a police force, which leads me to believe that there still is some sort of government. Then Gage continues saying that she's not just getting expelled or arrested, that she's getting expelled and arrested. And then she goes to Pandora to avoid the police and the new crime buster bots, which, separate from the corporate wars, is just really cool. Like, I want to see a central government that's coming after certain vault hunters and that we have to hide from them, and there are like more advanced death traps, and that'd be so cool. Like, I want to see that, or less advanced death traps or something like that. But all this implies is that there is still some sort of central government that's paying for a police force in the galaxy that Gage is from, where they have to do a class project mentioning Pandora, where some of the students did not even recognize the name of the planet. Then later on in that same echo, they talk about the school, that the actual project itself was breaking down the Hyperion occupation of Pandora, and the students had to say whether they agree, disagree, their thoughts on it. So obviously, not everyone in the galaxy agrees with Hyperion's methods, and they are allowed to speak out against them if they want. Which leads me even further to believe that the central government did not totally fall, that the corporations are not completely in power, and the people still have, like, they can say whatever they want and think what they want. Which could mean some really cool things for the corporate wars, and this is just something personally I would love to see or built on in some way, even if it was just a DLC or Headhunter pack. Seeing all the corporations like Jacobs, Malawan, and just learning more about them in the war aspect, like which ones rose to power, which ones fell, which weapons they used, how did they all compete, because the weapons are not made equally. Some are stronger than others, some are old-fashioned, some are elemental, and there's so much cool stuff that Gearbox could do for this. But what does this mean for the future? Well, this could always be played out again in Borderlands 3, and it's just another example of Gearbox setting the structure for an unused, awesome lore in games. Even though the event that we learn about was referred to as the quote last corporate war, it would still be awesome if all the companies faced off again. And then in the game, the Vault Hunters work for whichever company basically pays the most money. And then whoever pays the most money, so our allegiances don't lie with any of them. We kind of jump around, we fight against a bunch, we sabotage. And that'd be really cool. Or maybe we all team up together and fight against the new central government, or help the new central government. And I think there's a lot of cool stuff that Gearbox could do if they really wanted to. But the scope and vastness of it could be huge, like game breaking, like DLCs everywhere that they could do for this. But let me know what you guys think. Do you guys want to see more information and lore about the corporate wars? And should it have a role in the next Borderlands game? Like, comment, subscribe, and see you guys in the next one.